right, y'all. Now we are on to Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion part one. And even though the reunion truly was not all that, it was low key better than the whole season. That's the sad part. That's the sad part. I see that they're speculating and rumors are out that they want to reboot the whole cast. I honestly would not mind that. Like, having some of their friends, maybe we could see a few of them in a friend capacity every here and now. But this group of girls, I would not be upset if we didn't see them on this show anymore. So hopefully this review ain't too long because it's not like a whole lot happened. So Andy greets everybody. He's like, Candy, glad you're not too booked and busy for us today. You know, we cleared these dates with Don Juan, you know, so just glad you're here. Sheree, you looking refreshed. This cracked me up because, yes, she looks completely different. She looked like Sheree's cousin. She don't look like Sheree no more. And she was like, yeah, so she used her, what was it, Dwight? I think it was Dwight who used this excuse that, you know, I was having trouble breathing, so, you know, I had my nose done so that they could fix that, and I just had a little tweak, let them do a little tweak. Okay. We get to Drew. Drew, you know, you've been going through so much. We're going to talk about all that today. Come to find out, her and Ralph are still living in the house together. I guess the first one that moves out is the loser, so we're going to see what happens with that. Marlo, you know, what's going on? Oh, I'm trying to fit down into sample sizes. Oh, and how are you doing that? Shots, just like everybody else. Shots. I'm like, shots? What shots are people taking to lose weight? Is this the Ozempic? Is Ozempic shots? Is that what she's talking about? Because that confused me just a smidge, right? Kenya, you're just going to be distracting to try to, you know, not look at this weird underboob you got there. And aside from that underboob, her lip. Did anybody else see her lip? Like, did you get fillers or something? Like, it just wasn't cute and it was distracting. And whatever she did to her lips, she don't need to do it no more. She don't need to do it no more. And we see that Sonya is pregnant and looking beautiful. Congratulations to Sonya. I'm sure it was hard to watch that last episode and reliving that miscarriage that she went through. But she is pregnant now. She got pregnant very soon after. So shout out to her. So first up, we can start with Sheree. They play Sheree's package. They're talking about Martell, the whole fight with Kenya, She by Shein, and all of that. So he asks, you know, where are you and Martell now? She said she had to pull back from Martell because, you know, it was just coming with a lot of noise. Kenya was like, is it the revenge porn? Is it the revenge porn? Yeah, he was trying to revenge porn his ex-wife. That's probably what it was. All right then, Kenya. Like, yeah, he been passing it out all over Huntsville, child. You gonna stay with that? And she was just like, yeah, well, when we're together, we have a good time, and we never said that we were exclusive, so, but it was a lot of noise that came with it, so I had to pull back because, you know, I love me more, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. So we get to Kenya asking, is the divorce final? No, the divorce is not final. Mark actually is having her held in contempt, so she ends up bringing up Marlo. Because of Marlo, he's having me held in contempt because he says that Brooklyn was put in an unsafe situation when Marlo was banging on the door in Birmingham. So she's like, and actually, she reached behind her and hands her a subpoena. Andy intercepts. Andy's looking at it and he's like, this is blank. Kenya looks so stupid. This is blank, girl. She's like, oh, well, they must have printed out the wrong one. So you didn't check to see what the paper was? Kenya just looked very foolish this whole first half of the reunion. Like, nothing out of her mouth made sense. She's serving subpoenas that's blank. It was just retarded. Then she says that she had Mark's phone records subpoenaed and said that Marlo's phone number was on there multiple times. And Andy was like, oh, well, what were they talking about? And she was like, well, I don't know. We aren't able to subpoena the text messages, just the records. But then 2 seconds later, she says, well, Mark told me that you were calling him to try to get dirt on me. Okay, girl, which is it? You don't know what the text or the calls were, or you do know what the text and the calls were? Okay, girl. So next we talk about Sheree. And they mentioned that Candy said something about Sheree didn't pay the designer for the fashion show, and that's why that stuff ain't on the runway. Sheree's like, I pay all my bills, and I'm not being sued for money. And I'm not being sued for stealing people's ideas. Hi, Johnny. And I just feel like that was so lame, because even when Johnny did that seasons ago, I think that's the season I'm actually watching, which is season 9 of Real Housewives, when Johnny, Candy's old assistant, was suing her for wages that she allegedly didn't pay him, and he also said that she stole the concept of the restaurant from him, which it was so crazy, because it's like, first we saw Todd come up with the idea for the restaurant. It wasn't Candy's idea. So are you saying Todd stole that from you? And then you're not in the restaurant business, and this is based off of her family. So I feel like you're going to be hard pressed to get a lawyer to believe that this was your concept that she took from you, that you based off of her family and your lack of restaurant experience. So that was all lame for Sheree to even say. And then that's when Candy brought up, like, the fashions that was on your runway, you haven't paid for it. That's why it's not up on your website, girl. Like, and Sheree is like, you need to worry about your restaurant and the greasy floors. The floors are greasy. The floors are greasy. Okay, girl. All right. Then she brings up the shootings. Worry about your businesses and why shootings keep happening at your restaurants. Worry about that. Then she's like, matter of fact. And she pulls out this newsletter that she made, y'all. She News. It was an 8-page newsletter pamphlet dissing Candy. The first 6 pages, Andy said the first 6 pages were dedicated to bad reviews of her restaurants, photos included, and the last 2 pages were dedicated to Tag's Boutique. And so many people, ooh, this so funny. Ooh, Sheree got her with that one. Sheree got her with that one. Y'all, it was so lame to me. Because you talking about my 4 restaurants. You dissing my 4 restaurants that I've had for about 5+ years. And my clothing boutique that I've had for 14 years. When your business is barely off the ground, you've been trying to get your business off the ground for 14 years, still haven't, and still ain't turned a profit, but you got time and money to dedicate to dissing my businesses. Get your priorities in line. The fact that she still ain't turned a profit on She by Sheree is insane to me. And she keeps saying, well, it takes 2 to 3 years. It usually takes 2 to 3 years to see a profit on a business and da-da-da. Not with a platform like this, my dear. You have thousands of viewers, probably 1 million viewers every week, between rewatches, Peacock, the actual watching people, or people that don't even watch it. They just been waiting on She by Sheree. Because you've been talking about this since season 1. You should have been turned a profit, but you got your stuff way too high. Because I'm not even a huge Sheree fan, y'all. But when she finally dropped She by Sheree, I said, you know what? I want to buy me a little workout outfit. I'm, trying to get my fitness on. Let me go get something. And when I saw those workout outfits, it was like $100 a piece, like $100 for a bra, $100 for some leggings. There's no way. There's no way I'm paying $200 for a bra and workout pants. So that cut me out as a customer. I was willing to spend, what was my max price? $140. $140 before shipping was what I was willing to spend on some She by Sheree. And honey, When I saw how high that stuff was, I said, ain't no way. Ain't no way. I don't care what material it's made out of. So then when they came out saying that she just slapped her logo on some Shein stuff, on some Amazon stuff, these ain't even custom designs. Honey, you're not going to turn a profit if that's what you're doing. You're going to have to get all of your friends to constantly buy stuff to turn a profit, to have your stuff in that little temporary warehouse, that little corner of a warehouse that you renting out. Talking about some, will it cost extra for y'all to iron it because it's wrinkled? Yes, girl, it's going to cost extra for them to iron it because it's wrinkled. What kind of question is that? What kind of question is that? So, that's my problem with Sheree, that people just like to not pay attention to. Oh, she ate candy up. She really didn't. She would have ate candy up if she had a successful business and she did all that. But the fact that you spending so much time, even if you had an intern to do it or an assistant to do it, you paying them to spend time worried about somebody else's business, that even if they do have bad reviews, people still coming in there to eat. People still coming in there to eat, despite the shootings, despite them running out of macaroni and cheese, despite all of that. OLG got 2 locations, and a location in the basketball arena, and she got Blaze. So between her 4 restaurants, people still coming. At Tag's Boutique, no matter you try to say, well, she marking her clothes up too. People still buying it. Clearly they ain't too marked up because people still patronizing her businesses and not yours. So you should have spent that time and that money promoting your own stuff. When she passed out that pamphlet, Candy said you should have printed some fashions. I wish you would print some fashions. I'm with Candy. I wish you would print some fashions because this is just stupid. You spending so much time on me, but she keep on saying, why are you worried about it? Why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to you? Why are you worried about it? Are you retarded? Clearly she is. Now, Candy had such a foul mouth this reunion. Oh my God. Like, every other word out of her mouth was raggedy B, stupid H. Like, it was just so many curse words. I was just like, Candy, my boo. Like, Jesus. So, yeah. That was just all stupid to me. She said, Tag's been up for over a decade, baby. Like, talk all you want. People still coming in there to buy my stuff. And true enough. So next we get to Drew's comment that she ain't doing another movie unless it's Lifetime or better. But she was like, but everything was top tier. The food was top tier. This was top tier. This was top tier. And Sheree was the pay top tier. I heard they only gave her $10,000. Marlo gonna say out loud, Candy, y'all only paid her $10,000. Candy was like, we paid her more than $10,000. But apparently it was still less than what Drew normally, does a movie for. She said, because when they first got the offer, her agent rejected it. Like, nah, this ain't enough money. But Todd called her and she spoke to him. And, they kind of got into agreement that she wanted to do it for the bigger picture of this being their first movie, this being people that she cool with. Okay, I'll do it, even though it's a little less. And the recording schedule is very aggressive. A movie in 10 days is very aggressive, they said. So next they talk about Drew's music and how Kenya said that the music video was a low budget Beyonce Blow video. To me, that was fun shade. I can see where if it was directed at you, being as sensitive as Drew is, she would take offense to it. But I felt like it was fun shade because, it was a low budget blow because it was a skating rink thing. But low budget to Beyonce, like, girl, all these videos is low budget to Beyonce unless we're talking about some Michael Jackson or something. Like, everybody low budget compared to Beyonce. So it just wasn't that deep to me. And Kenya was in the video, so she couldn't have felt like it was a terrible video and then she would put her face in it and be a part of it. So it was just another sign of just Drew just being overly sensitive. So next we talk about the kiss and how Drew swears up and down that she did not kiss LaToya and that she's Candy. During the season, she said Candy brought up the kiss situation so that she can get Drew comfortable with kissing a woman in a movie, which didn't make no sense because Candy was like, the kiss happened years before the concept of the movie dropped, so this all sounds stupid. And now I'm thinking that, you be over there gaslighting Ralph too. This had the people on the internet upset, y'all. They felt like Candy was so foul. She was so wrong for saying that. But I'm like, it's true. We've seen Drew gaslight Ralph. We've seen Drew manipulate situations in a sense. Because, like, every time they try to go out and have a date night, Drew turns into an argument. That's why he told her she didn't deserve lobster. She deserved a Lunchable a few seasons ago. Like, I don't think Drew is the cause of their breakup, but if Ralph is 75% at fault, Drew is 25% at fault. She don't give innocent to me. The way she lied and gaslights and live in delusion is just like, girl, you had your part in this. And so Andy's asking her how the music video went on, and she turns to Candy. I just want to make sure we're good. I want to make sure we're good, though. I want to make sure we're good. Candy looking at her like, and one of the girls was like, girl, are you delusional? No, you're not good. It cracked me up so hard, y'all, because why would you think that y'all would be good after you just went? That's a candy-coated lie. That's a candy-coated lie. And you calling this girl a liar, saying that she fantasized about you kissing LaToya and all this stuff. I just want to make sure we're good. No, Drew, y'all are not good. But recently on Twitter, Drew, wrote out this message how she wants to sit down with Candy and she doesn't want this situation to ruin the friendship that they had. Candy was like, I'm willing to sit down, so we'll see what comes of that. Even though Candy doesn't necessarily consider her a friend, according to her speak on it, like they were acquaintances and they were co-workers and they were cool, they hung out, but Candy says she doesn't necessarily consider her a friend, and we can tell that she doesn't. And I feel like ever since Phaedra, Candy don't be quick to call these girls friends, because we see how that turned out. So next was a little silly moment. Andy said, Drew, you do realize that South Africa is in Africa, right? So everybody laughs about that. And then he turns to Kenya. He said, and Kenya, you do know that Portugal is not in Spain, right? And Kenya was like, oh, that was one of my worst moments. I'm not good at geometry. Candy was like, geography. It cracked me up. I'm not good at geometry. What in the Portia reincarnated is going on here? So next, they bring out the friends of, which was Marlo and Courtney. And as they're getting them positioned on the couch and everything, they're taking a picture. And one of them, either Marlo or Sheree, they was like, oh, pretty broke bees, or something about them being broke and bitter or something like that. And Sheree said they gotta get their money up. The one who admitted on camera that you don't be paying bill collectors, we know that you struggled. It took you 5-6 years to build Chateau Sheree, and you saying somebody else need to get their money up? You are probably the brokest girl on the cast, to be honest. Just because your house is the biggest don't mean nothing. You probably the brokest girl on the cast. The call is coming from inside the house, Sheree. Talking about somebody else need to get their money up. This is why all of Sheree's reads fall flat for me, because it's like, you can't read somebody on something you failing at. You just can't. You just can't. Your man wouldn't even pick up the tab for the birthday dinner. He need to get his money up, okay? While you talking about somebody else need to get their money up. You need to get you a man that got their money up and not by scamming like Tyrone, okay? Just retarded. So next, Drew corny behind. She throws a plum at Courtney. Like, since you'll never have a peach here. And this girl, why is you always throwing props at somebody? It reminded me of when she threw them dog bones at Fatum, right? Always throwing something at somebody for the sake of a prop, trying to be funny. And it just was like, okay. Marlo was like, hey, don't be throwing stuff over here. Don't be throwing stuff over here. Andy went down and got the plum. Ugh. Andy just ate that plum. It's good. It's good. Just retarded. So next they talk about how Marlo slammed the door, or tried to slam the door in Mayetta's face, and how Sheree and Courtney and Sonya all was like, no, she didn't slam the door. No, she didn't try to slam the door. And Mayetta had called them hyenas, like a pack of lion hyenas or something like that. And Sheree was so mad about this comment. Are you going to apologize for calling us hyenas? Mayetta said, no, I'm not, because that's what y'all were acting like. And she was like, well, after you saw the footage and you saw that she did try to slam the door, now what do you have to say? Well, I was 2-3 people behind, so, I really couldn't see when it happened, so I just said, no, she didn't slam the door because I'm trying to keep the peace. Mayetta said, but if you didn't see nothing, you shouldn't speak on it. And I'm with Mayetta on this one. Don't be speaking on something if you didn't see it. What's the point in that? Trying to keep the peace. No, everybody be trying to protect Marlo and her mess. But Marlo had her some little media training or something today, because she was just so pretty and poised. Pretty and poised until it was time for her not to be. Because she did, initially when Candy first asked her, Marlo, you saw the kiss, right? Marlo was like, well, I'm like 80%, because once Drew started putting it on her kids and all of that, I started feeling like, well, she wouldn't put it on her kids and stuff, like who would do that if they was lying? So I'm only 80%. They were this close, they were this close like this. And then Drew was like, so we were talking. Candy said, y'all arms was wrapped around each other and y'all was kissing. Y'all was like this. But then later on, after Drew came at Marlo about, I don't even know what Drew came at Marlo about. Did I write it down? Nope, must not be too important. But Marlo was like, but you be kissing girls. You kissed Latoya and you liked it and you lied about it. Why don't you just come out? It's like, nah, Marlo, don't be trying to wait on somebody to pounce for you to pounce back. If you saw it, say you saw it, girl. Say you saw it. And so next they talk about Kenya said that Marlo and Roy didn't really go on a date. If you drove yourself and this, it wasn't a date. Marlo's dates always end with money on the dresser. Okay, Kenya. Okay, Kenya. She went on a date. It's not that deep. If they didn't hit it off, if they just ended up not hitting it off, then it is what it is. But to say that they didn't go on a date, they went on a date, girl. It's not that deep. So Andy asked her, why didn't Roy film that much? And she's like, well, once he saw that this, that, and the third on the super trailer, he just, didn't want to fool with it. He didn't want to be bothered with it. And it was like, the super trailer didn't come out until filming was wrapped. So that's still not an excuse on why he didn't film much. And so everybody's kind of like, that ain't no real relationship. They just whatever. She was like, we're dating. It's just not that serious. We're just dating. But I'm like, girl, as much as they try to be on Marlo behind about her and Scott Lee's relationship, Marlo and Scott Lee look much realer than Kenya and Roy, because it seemed like the only time Kenya and Roy FaceTimed on camera was when Mayetta was called, and then Mayetta was setting up everything. Mayetta was the middleman for that whole relationship for what we saw on camera. And the only time we did see them together, he was bringing food from his restaurant to her photo shoot, to her video shoot, and he just stayed for all of 2 seconds before he dipped. So yeah, that part. Next, we closing it off. They asked Candy, like, it seems like you just don't want to be here anymore. Either you were leaving or getting ready to leave or couldn't make it. And Candy was just like, yeah, I bit off more than I could chew this season. And it's like, yeah, girl, you did. And Candy is so dead set on being a superwoman and a do-it-all that it's like, it gets annoying. Like, I love me some Candy, don't get me wrong, but it's like, girl, you just be doing stuff to say you doing stuff and to keep doing stuff, and it's just too much. It's too much. Your own child, before she had Blaze, Riley told her straight up, you don't even have time for us. Why would you have another child? So I can only imagine the amount of time that she spends or doesn't spend with her kids. Like, is Ace in like little pee-wee soccer or baseball or something like that? Do you make it to his games? Because between Shooting the Shy, y'all had this movie, you do Real Housewives, you touring with your group, y'all had a show that you was filming. I think she said they had finished filming the SWV Escape show right when they was started filming this. Do you have time for your family, child? We done seen time and time again where either Riley is complaining about you ain't got no time for them, Todd complaining about as soon as you come in town, you going off to an event, Ace on the phone crying that he miss you. Like, you can slow down a little bit. You can sit at home and let these businesses make some money and, you know, put it in your savings or put it here or invest it there. You don't have to constantly go out to look for another venture to make some more money as if the money is dwindling in the bank accounts. Because I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's not. So that does get a little frustrating with Candy. I think it's about time that I want them to give her a multi-season deal with Escape and Candy and the gang, so she don't have to be on Real Housewives no more, so that we can just see her in what she would be doing anyway and not forcing her into these situations with the housewives and she be already on edge. She walk into it on edge and she cursing everybody out like, oh. So we'll see what happens with that. But I am glad that Candy and the gang is back. I think Candy and the gang should be what they call it, Candy Pumps Rules. It's her Candy Pumps Rules. You know, Vanderpump Rules was one of the girls off the other season, the other shows, where they just follow her restaurant. That needs to be how Candy is. Like, don't even be a housewife no more. Just venture off to Candy and the gang and let that run. So lastly on this episode, we see Courtney and Drew going back and forth about Courtney and all the foul stuff she done said. Drew was like, you don't know me. All you know is the stuff that Ralph has trained you to say. And don't you ever speak on my child again. And Courtney's like, I didn't speak on your child. I didn't speak on your child. And he was like, but you did though. But you did though. So Drew kind of went off, and rightfully so, because don't be saying I wanted him to adopt my child because XYZ. If you making a step parenting book about my child and you profiting off my child, I would think that you would adopt him as well. But I guess if you know you're going to divorce me soon, maybe not. But yeah, Courtney just was all out of line. She be doing too much on behalf of Ralph, who she's literally only known for less than a year. It's just so goofy. It's so goofy. So that was the end of the first part of the reunion. I think they said it's only 2 parts. Good, because we do not need 3 parts for this whack behind season. So we'll be wrapping that up soon, and then I don't know which comes back first. Is it Marriage and Medicine or Real Housewives of Potomac? But those are my faves, so I'll be reviewing both of those whenever they come back. But yeah, I'm glad the Housewives of Atlanta to be coming to a close right now, because it just was not giving. It just was not giving. So yeah, that's it, y'all. I will get to y'all on some other stuff. What else I said I plan on reviewing? Oh, I'm gonna do Power next week. I haven't watched the episode yet, and I don't know if I'm gonna have time to until like Thursday or Friday. So I figured I'd just wait until the new episode comes and do a review for episode 1 and 2 for Tommy's Power. I think it's Forced Together. And I'll be reviewing that because I do watch that. I pretty much watched all the Powers except for Kanan's story. I could not follow it. It just did not keep my attention. But yeah, so that's the things to come for me. Make sure you check those out. Check out Hood Health Report, y'all. The shorts, the little shorts, the reels have been getting so much attention from the white supremacists. They have been going off in the comments about the last video that we posted for Hood Health Report, which is the proposed Cali reparations. It's got the people mad. So go and watch the video for that, and the TikTok ban. Just go watch my Hood Health Report. That's what I really started my channel for, was Hood Health Report. So watch that, like the videos, share my videos, comment, subscribe to the channel, all of the things, you guys. And that is all for me today. Bye-bye.